Welcome back to week 8 in the Living with Purpose series. Today, I'm going to speak to you about the importance of stepping into your fear. There's a book by an author called Susan Jeffers, which is entitled Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And the title alone says so much. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Do you know the number one reason, or maybe not the number one reason, but certainly one of the most powerful reasons why most people never achieve their goals in life is because their goals are too small. If your goals are too small, they're not going to inspire you. You're not going to feel motivated. I mean, let's just say that you want to increase the amount of money flowing through you this year, and you want to increase it by 10%. I mean, whoop-de-doo. I mean, yay, I met inflation. That's not going to inspire you to take massive action. If you want to take massive action, you need to have massive goals. And here's the challenge with having massive goals. The whole idea is that they've got to be so big that it almost scares you about how on earth am I going to make that possible. And that's why it's important to feel the fear and do it anyway and step into your fear. Now, I've done many things that have evoked an incredible amount of fear in me. Many of you have done the fire walk with me, and doing a fire walk, no matter how many times I've done it, I'm not going to lie to you, I've probably done the fire walk 30 times, but every single time I stand in front of that fire, I can feel it's hot and it's challenging. The most important thing in the fire walk is the first step. Once you've taken that first step, you find that your momentum will carry you all the way across to the other side. But having done all the things that have challenged me, without a doubt, the thing that has challenged me the most is a bungee jump. I've done the highest bungee jump in the world. It's at a place called Blowkrans, which is in the Eastern Cape, on the border between the Western and Eastern Cape here in South Africa. It's 216 meters high. I want to tell you my experience. I'd always wanted to do this particular bungee jump. And one year, 1999, I was on holiday on my own. I did a solo holiday for 2 weeks, which, by the way, is something I'd highly recommend. There's nothing better than connecting with yourself and getting to know and be with yourself for 2 weeks. But I was driving past and I said I'd always wanted to do this, and today's the day. So I stopped and I first went and stood and watched people jumping over the edge. As I watched the first person jump, my heart almost leapt out of my body because I was like, because just to see someone falling that far, I was like, oh, and then I saw the rope catch them. I was like, oh man, that's a relief. And then I watched the next person jump. But by the time the fifth or sixth person jumped, it was like blasé. Yeah, well, I know the rope's going to catch them. And I watched people jumping. I thought, okay, cool. I'm going to go and sign up. So I went and I signed up. It was 500 Rand at the time. Paid my 500 Rand. Signed my life away because you sign an indemnity form in case anything happens or the rope snaps. It's not their responsibility. You knew the risks you're taking. And as I'm walking over, man, I was in such a great state. I was thinking, what a beautiful day to do this. You're walking under the bridge. I'm looking at the view and looking at the ocean on this side and thought, wow, what a perfect day to do this. I was the first one to jump in our group of about 20 because they go by weight. And I was the heaviest. And then they tie your legs. And they're wrapping the rope around you. And I'm sitting there feeling completely calm and going, yeah. And they get you to choose the music you want. And I want to listen to Alanis Morissette. She was my favorite artist at the time. I'm so calm. I'm telling them, no, not that track, this track. And I'm looking out. And then the guys picked me up and they carried me to the edge. My experience changed. Suddenly, when you're standing on the edge, and you look over and there's 216 meters. The river way down there looked like a little stream. It was so small. And as I stood there, I went, oh boy. And suddenly an incredible amount of fear just came rushing into my being. Now, what they do, they're quite smart, is they don't give you much time to think about it. Because if you think about it, you're going to chicken out. And you have to stand with your hands apart like this. You probably can't see fully in the picture, but you stretch your arms out. And what happens is someone stands behind this hand and someone stands behind that elbow. In case you turn around, try and grab someone and take them with, even though they are tied in. And then they count you down super quick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bungee! And you jump. Now, most people scream. I couldn't scream. I completely lost my voice. As I jumped, I was like, couldn't even find my voice. I was terrified. And then as the rope caught me, oh, this feeling of relief, the exhilaration. I was like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, there is a God. Oh, that is amazing. I suddenly felt so blessed. And then what happens is you bounce all the way back up because the cord stretches, and then you bounce all the way back up and you fall again. Now, even though I knew the rope's going to catch me, it's caught me already. No, the same amount of fear. And the rope caught me again. I bounced up in the third time. Even as I fell again, I felt that incredible amount of fear. And then, of course, as they pulled me up, oh my goodness, I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of energy moving through my body. Of course, it was probably adrenaline, but I felt so alive. 1999 became one of the best years ever for me. I went back into that year because you see, when you step into your fear and you do something that you are absolutely terrified of, once you've achieved it, it makes you realize that fear is just an illusion. Fear tells you that you can't do something, but actually most of the fear is in your head. It's not real. Now, the physical experience was absolutely terrifying, but the result, the way I felt afterwards, my mind, I was thinking in such a different way because it opened my consciousness and I was thinking at a very different level. So here's my point. You've set some very powerful goals for yourself. You are deciding to live your life with purpose. You will feel fear. Most people think that, you know what, fear is a problem, I shouldn't feel fear. You'll always feel fear. There will come a time in your life when you won't feel fear, and you know what that time is called? Death. Until then, fear is part of life. The question is, will you allow the fear to stop you from taking massive action and living a life of purpose and passion? Or will you do as Susan Jeffers says and feel the fear and do it anyway? Every single time I try something new, this vlog series, for example, what if I do it and it doesn't drive the message home? There's always fear. Anytime I do something that I've never done before because it's unknown. But then the more you do it, the better you become at it. So that's my invitation for you this week. If you're feeling fear about your goals, awesome. That's fantastic. You should feel fear because you might feel like, wow, this is a big goal. But my invitation is to feel the fear and do it anyway. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm really enjoying this series. Tune in next week for our last part of this particular series. We'll have another one next time. I invite you to please like our page. Please share. That's the best way to get the message out there is with you sharing with your friends. Thanks again for tuning in. Go well and don't forget to be awesome.